Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Sofia, nice to meet you. And today, finally, we are filming how I annotate video. Might be one of my most requested video ever, but I feel like my annotation system is changing every day, so I never feel like 100% prepared to film this video. But I was just like, let's just do it. Let's give the people what they want. If you've been in booktube for a while, you know that annotation is a thing. A few years ago it wasn't a thing, but a lot of people started doing it and putting tabs and writing in books, and I feel like now it's something that a bunch of people do, but also a bunch of other people are actually really scared of doing it. I wanted to start the video with why I annotate. Some people just watch me like putting tabs, even my family, they are like, why are you putting so many tabs on your books? To me, it enhances the reading experience. I love writing what I'm thinking and just little reactions, or mainly marking quotes. That's how I started annotating. I love quotes. I have a quote journal, and so many times when I read a book I remember a quote but I didn't know where it was specifically, so at the beginning I started just tabbing quotes and parts that I adore from books, and from that on I just started going more and more and more, and now I feel like I cannot read a book without annotating it. Does this mean I annotate every single book I read? No. I annotate in many different ways, but the things I normally use for annotations are my trusty 7-color? My 7-color tabs that I got from Amazon. I will link them down below. And I also use post-its if I don't want to actually write on the book, but I normally just write on it. And I use a Muji pen. Just find a pen that doesn't bleed a lot. I feel like this one helped me, and it's at 0.5, which is big but not that big. How do I know if a book is annotation worthy, or how do I know if I want to annotate a book? What I normally do, you can actually tell the books that you want to annotate or not. I normally read around 60 pages, and what I do there is I start putting tabs and stuff. If I want to write on it, I will write it on a post-it. When I reach the 60-page mark, I normally know if I'm gonna adore that book or if I'm gonna like it at least, or if I have to annotate, like if it's a really heavy fantasy I will go for it, and more if it's like a series I will know. And if I want to actually write on it, I will go back, and all my post-its I will just write what I said on the book or keep them, I don't know. And if I don't want to continue annotating, I will just take out the post-its or leave them, whatever, and just go with it. Let me tell you my annotating method as of now, and later I will tell you how I got into annotating and tips if you want to start annotating. This is my main thing, and what a lot of people use. A lot of people use just those 5 colors that come in normal post-its. Mine just have a few more. I'm gonna tell you what each means. Pink is romance, or moments that I really loved, as like made me smile, or I really want to remember. What I normally do is I just put 1 when there's a romance happening, like they kiss for the first time, or they just are being like lovey-dovey with each other. Then orange is for funny, snarky comments, things that made me laugh out loud. That's what I use orange for. Then yellow for me, it's quotes. Anything that is quotable, that I think I can put in my quote journal, or that I want to remember, I'll just put a yellow one. Then green for me is world building, character descriptions, character backstory, stuff like that. And this really helps me when I want to see how a character looked like, or when I'm in the second book of a series and I forgot like that big conversation they had when they like explained their whole past. I'll just go to the book and just browse through my green. This doesn't really work for like romance, it's more of a fantasy kind of thing. Then my blue is for sad moments, or when I cried in the book. Self-explanatory, really sad scene, really sad moment. If I'm hella crying, I cry with everything, I'll just go for the blue one. And then the next 2 are new edition. I don't know what to do with them. Deep purple is like what I call what the fuck moments, like WTF moments, or shocked moments, anger moments. They are just when I'm reading I'm like, wait, what? Or like, what is going on? I also use the pure purple for foreshadowing when I'm rereading. If I see something that was foreshadowing something that's gonna happen in the future in the books, I'll just put that tab as well. And then light purple, I use it for trigger warnings, things that I know I want to talk about in the review, specific moments that I want to go back when finishing the book, or things that just felt off to me that I want to talk in videos. That's how I use my tabs. Also, sometimes there's like 3 tabs in one sentence. For example, it can be a quote, but it can also be a sad quote that made me cry, so I will just put a yellow and a blue one so they can like mix match. I have a book, a Queen of Shadows. There's this part where I just put every single color that I have, and also a tab because it's a part I come back to. But yeah, they can be put one on top of another. When it comes to grading on the books, what do I grade? Like, a lot of people are, why are you grading? What are you grading? Most of the times are reactions. I annotate as if I'm talking to the characters, like, oh my god, what are you doing? You didn't just say that, lol, what is happening? Stuff like that I will grade. Sometimes I also even grade theories. So for example, in Kingdom of the Wicked, if you have seen my blog, I was reading it with Em, and we both had a lot of different theories on what was going on. So there's a few pages where I have like a whole paragraph at the end of a chapter where I just wrote what I thought was going to happen. And I love that because when you are rereading the books, imagine you already finished the series and you're rereading the books and you're starting the first one, so you can see what you thought at the beginning, and now that you know the ending, it will be so much fun to be like, oh my god, you were so wrong. I also grade thoughts just when reading. Like, if you read a quote and it just touches your heart, I just grade whatever I feel like. It doesn't have to be deep. You can grade whatever you want. Sometimes I grade analysis of the characters, or like, this reminds me of this, or oh my god, someone will love this. Whatever comes to your mind, you can write it down. If you are not willing to grade on books, that was something that was really hard for me as well, like grading on books. But then I started facing my copies and I kind of lost my fear of just grading on them. I will use post-it. You can use normal post-it, but now there is this like really clear post-it where you can write on top of the book and the text actually shows up, so you can write on one side or another. I also do these on like a special editions or in books that I don't want to damage. It just depends on the book that I'm reading. And now I'm gonna give a few tips if you want to start annotating, if you don't know where to start, or you're lost and you want to give it a try. If you have never annotated, what I will say, grab yourself some post-it. This is how I think how everyone starts annotating. For your first book, take your colors and just put something into it. You can use my method of annotating, you can use other people. Just know what each one means. You can even write it on the beginning of the book. When I started annotating, what I would do at the beginning is put here what each tab means. So I just put one of each color. And for your first book, just give it a try, and when you finish the book and you stop annotating, you can see that you didn't use that many purple tabs, because like you realize that that's not something that it's working for you, and you can change what that tabs means, but you have to give it a try. At the beginning, I will just say tab, don't grade. That's what I used to do. Like, for example, in A Court of Mist and Fury, I didn't grade anything on the book. I'll just tab moments that I liked, and that kind of started putting me in the annotation like mood. So you see a romance part that you like and you want to remember, just put a romance tab and you go. You don't have to grade anything. And when you feel ready and you want to take it to the next level, grab maybe a book that you have read like 100 times. Just grab it, start writing what you're feeling while you're reading it. Just a book you know you're never getting rid of. Start with something that like you're like, oh no, a hardcover. Maybe go to a second-hand like bookstore and just buy yourself a copy. Some of my copies, I have like even 2. For example, The Jungle Lights, I have paperbacks where they are annotated, and then my normal copies are not actually annotating. Don't feel guilty of writing in a book. If you feel guilty about writing something, it's not worth it. You can always just put tabs, and then when you're more comfortable with it, you just go with the text. Sometimes I love a book so much, like Pump 67, that I read it like 5 times, where I didn't annotate at all just because it wasn't worth it for me. I was just enjoying the book so much and I didn't want to like stop every minute. It just, you have to find what works for you. But in here, for example, I was underlining the text with like pink, which also have, I'm not a highlighter type of girl. One of the recent books that I annotated was the Atlas 6, and that's what I did. As you can see, there's a lot of purple in these tabs. I just underlining it, and that's what works for me. I also have a lot of yellow because there's a lot of quotes, and as you can see here, on top, I still have post-its. I don't know if you can see them. That means they are scenes that I wanna like go back to, parts that I really loved, chapters that I reread often. I even have like this purple tab here because this was the most like what the fuck moment in the whole book. Just go for it, try new things. You can always change your annotation method, and mine changes every day with every book. I find something that I need, something that I want to change. Don't stress yourself too much, just give it a try. Maybe it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for a lot of people. My sister still is like, what are you doing, why are you annotating? But for me it works, and it just makes my reading experience so much better. This was a long time coming, and I hope you liked it, or you found something new that you can do to help you annotate. I found that it also really helps me when reading in English. It's not my first language, so it used to really help me like for writing words that I didn't know, or like going back to parts where I didn't really understood. Give it a try, and if you have any more questions, I'm glad to answer in the comments. You can ask me anything you want. I actually want to know if you annotate, if you have annotated so far. What is something you do different from other people? Maybe your purple tabs mean something else. Let me know in the comments, because I love watching other people like videos about annotating, and I want to know if you made it this far in the video, what emoji can we post today? Let's just put today the sparkle emoji. I use that all the time. As always, if you want to keep updated with my reads, I have a Goodreads where I post reviews, and I also have a Bookstagram where I post daily. You can go there, we can be good friends. I also have an Etsy shop with bookish stuff that I will link down below in case you want to check it out. But that's gonna be all for today. As always, I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one, which is a weekly reading vlog. Bye!